Oh, dude, editing it, I was going through hell. I was sitting there, I was like, oh, shit, I don't want to die. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, well, I think you want to hear the dating thing. Yeah.
Dude, I'm honestly, I'm chill, but like, oh man, like I just.
But you pounded down in the sheets? Besides Jessica Rabbit.
Come on, baby, do what you want. Oh, when I started working when I was 16 that summer at the Tanque Verde swap meet, I'm gonna drain my lizard. Did you know somebody actually pulled out a gun in the middle of the show?
Have you ever...
If you want to be fancy, hold your pinky up like this.
Andres, Teddy, how do you say your last name?
Giron?
Giron. I was gonna say Giron.
No.
Like Tyrone. Like Tyrone Biggums. Hey, I listened to the pod. Teddy is a guitar player for Kingsgrave. He's also a podcast host for Quiet the Storm. Any other thing? Am I seeing anything else? A tin bender.
Yeah. Guitarist, tin bender, and the Quiet the Storm podcast. Like, it's a podcast, but it's also gonna be like a music project as well.
Yeah.
Because like on top of podcasts, we'll be doing like project videos. Like with Abdul, he's taking videos on like when he made his Arizona T guitar. Like he's gonna do like he has a song to actually go with it. A whole video, like the whole just kind of rundown of him like building it and painting it. Like the whole process.
It would have been great if he would have came, and just popped in and you're like, hey, here it is, and whatever. But it would have been pretty great for him to come.
Yeah, a little special guest.
I brought that up because I listened to episode 3. Is it 3 for you guys? The most recent one, the psychedelics.
Oh, it was
Parks,
5.
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah. That's episode 5. Yeah.
Yeah, check that out, guys. You guys are pretty baked in that one.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. Like,
why did you post it then if it's bad?
It's content, I guess, but it's also too like listening through it. I can hear like it's not like the conversations, the topics are pretty good. Like the points are pretty still coherent.
I liked it.
It's just like I notice when I speak, I have a tendency to use those crutches like.
It was funny.
Dude, editing it, I was going through hell. I was sitting there, I was like, ugh.
Dude, that's why I'm glad that I'm finally got comfortable with doing this. I've probably done 10 podcasts at the other room that you were here before.
Yeah.
And then at the last house, my last little cottage, and I sucked. I just stuttered a lot. I slurred a lot. But while doing the editing process, I learned to slow down, articulate your words, don't interrupt so often. And that's the benefit of having a podcast.
Yeah.
Is you get to, when you're editing is the worst part, right? You have to hear yourself. But with time, you start to learn how to pretty much improve the way you speak.
I've really noticed that I've tried to take account to how I speak for my thoughts. Just pay attention to what I'm saying, not rush through it. Like, even if I have to talk a little bit slower, being clear with my communication.
It's so what we're like the same. We're both like let's. Oh, I just did it. I did it like 3 times.
Dude, and also too, like I think a part of the reason why our speech is so botched because like Abdul, like he said he noticed when he listened.
Oh, he speaks well. He speaks better than us. I as far as like choice of words,
he's very well spoken. Yeah. But like in that episode, he did use like and dumb a lot. Like,
well, because they're big.
Yeah, but I think it's just it might have been our mannerisms wearing back on each other.
Oh yeah, and you guys were like in sync.
Yeah, because like I've noticed, like at least with me and you, like our behaviors are very much the same.
Yeah,
we have a lot of a big competitive aspect, whether it's musically or physically. Like
it's very we have a lot. That's why I wanted to bring you on, and I'm glad you jumped on it right away, and you committed and you didn't flake out last minute. I've had a lot of guests flake out last minute, but we have a lot of similarities, man. We like almost the same exact podcast. We love like psychology, guitar players, working out. We love fighting, UFC and MMA. It pretty much like everything is just across the board. It's like we're pretty very similar.
Like a good way to like
Hispanic
put it together. It's like the Hispanic, but like also like I guess the philosophies we kind of also adapt.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I mean, the last time we hung out, It was just me and you at my old place. Remember how
Yeah.
tiny that place was?
Dude, yeah, I remember that night. That night,
That was great conversations and a great time. I was like, this is a pod. I was like, this is what we should be doing for a podcast. Like, just
dude, that would
man,
have been
we're-
like a 4-hour podcast.
yeah.
Oh my god.
We actually did one recently with Frank Armendariz. If I'm saying it right, sorry, Frank. Your last name's so long. Armendariz. But he works for Crown Chimp Films, and he's done things for Venom before UFC re-signed them.
Shit.
On the podcast, he's number one.
Oh.
Ideally, it was supposed to be Maddie. I had Maddie on, and this was in the other room. And I didn't have 3 cameras. I only had 1 camera, the DSLR, and it just did not look well. And I also had my laptop at the time, and my laptop kept crashing every time I would upload the video and the audio file because it was too much processing power to hold. And I spent like 2 weeks. I would edit like maybe 15 seconds, computer would shut down, reset, load for a while, start all over. And that would take me 2 weeks just to edit maybe like 2 minutes. And I don't know why I was so stubborn. My girlfriend's like, just buy a new computer. And I was like, it's gonna work. It's like, I was just so stubborn. I didn't want to spend the money. I don't know why. And then I bought this
hard,
thing.
Man. But once you make that switch, you're just like, oh my god, it's like,
I've been very frugal with like finances because like upbringing and whatnot. But now that I have this new career, finances is no longer a second. It's taking a back seat now to what I want to do now because I don't have to worry about money anymore. But back then when I had a different job, I was pretty much living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's why I was very frugal. I was like, I can make this work.
Dude, yeah, like even now that I do make like better money, I can support myself. I'm still very frugal. Like generally life is expensive and pretty hard. As an adult, like $200 can be an emergency. Like it's hard to explain a little bit. Like,
not necessarily. I'm sure people who are listening, they're living either in the same situation as you, or they were fortunate enough to graduate to where I'm at now.
Yeah, yeah. Because doing roommate living, it's not bad.
It's great, man. I miss it. I used to live with DeMello and Fernie.
Oh damn,
man. Well, during the Elysian days, man, like we had a 2-story house. It was great. We had a great time. We had great chemistry. Everything was perfect. And after every show, everybody who was at the venue knew if Elysian plays, there's an after party at their place, and it was a thing. And that sort of enticed people to buy tickets because they were guaranteed a house party, and a great house party because we used to party hard. I'm not from Douglas, but I pretty much was raised in Douglas, and we party real hard out there.
Oh yeah,
and so people loved it. I'm sure you have to have gone before.
I never went to one of your house parties.
It was the best, man. I got photos and videos. It's the best stuff. It's like the stuff you see in movies. It's just like, oh, no, I swear, dude, I swear. You did really well on that episode 5 with Quiet the Storm. You were the first time doing the introductory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did really well.
Yeah, I actually like it took practice. That's when I started realizing like how I speak in my tone, like what's kind of natural to my fluency of communication. Like I noticed with jokes as well, there's a lot of pausing and timing. Like, see, and noticing the likes. Like I'm trying hard right now.
But that's that's the benefit of the pod. So I wanted to start a podcast before it became freaking popular. Now it's in movies. It's unfortunate because once I release this, that's why I've been taking so long to release it, because I want to make sure at least I'm satisfied and content with what I release as far as image, editing, and audio and conversations.
Dude, but visually, this is already really good.
It took me a long time. But it just, for those people who don't know, podcasting may seem easy because it's oversaturated right now in the population. It costs a lot of money to get the equipment. It takes a lot of hours learning the software, the editing. You got to choose. You got to pay for that. Subscriptions. It's a lot of things to go through just to even start one, and then to be consistent if you're passionate about it. Imagine if we had this when we first met each other, and we were like at least mature and articulate enough at our age when we first met each other. I could have brought you in when we first met. Say as we watched them fall, right? I brought you in, and pretend that we've done it in the past. We did like 3 or 4 back in the day when you were like 21. How old were you when you were in As We Watched Them Fall?
I joined them when I was 19, 18 years old.
So then when's the first time you met me? How old were you then?
I was 19 for sure.
Okay, so we'll say 20. So you've like it's 20. Imagine if we've done 4 podcasts, just say 4 minimum, when you were 20, 21, and 22. It's in the ether, the digital era, like digital format. You can go back now and watch it and be like, oh my God, look how I spoke, look how I looked. But it's still there for you to reflect on.
Yeah, that's why I was comfortable releasing episode 5, even though I feel I'm talking very immaturely and
Yeah.
incohesively. But like even then, some of the editing, it was a little bit of a miscommunication with me and Abdul. But he also wants to keep things kind of on a time, which I understand because people's attention span
Yeah.
generally tends to come and go. But it's not a bad thing. But
Well,
I noticed it. I'm just trying to like be here,
Yeah.
but also like just be like, oh, like
I'm sure
compose.
you have ADHD, don't you?
Yeah, most likely. I've never been tested. Like I remember my mom told me when I was in like kindergarten that they wanted to put me on medication, and my mom's
Yeah.
like, no, like hell no. Like she was so refusant to put me on any type of medication, which I'm kind of glad because if they would have put me like on some kind of medication, it would have definitely changed my brain chemistry as a young child.
Very, very much so. I started ditching at like 4th grade, man. Like,
Oh man, I didn't ditch until my junior year in high school. That's funny though, because what happened one time I had to like stay at home because I was actually sick, but I noticed because when I did my registration that year, my mom made me pay for all my like classes because there's like little fees for like certain electives, like little stuff like
and
that. For
this is junior school?
this is high school.
High school, okay.
Yeah, this is my
You gotta
junior year.
pay?
Like little stuff like if you took like
Equipment?
if you took a PE class, like it was like you would have to buy your uniforms and stuff. And
Oh, that's
it's like
okay.
a small
That's
fee.
fun.
It wasn't anything
Oh,
crazy.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and because I was already working at that time, and my mom made me pay for my
How old?
stuff. 17.
You're working?
Yeah. I started
Dang.
working when I was 16 that summer at the Tanque Verde swap meet. It was me and my cousin Martin.
The one on Ajo?
Yeah,
Is that Ajo, right?
Dude, yeah, because before it used to be owned by by a family. I think their last name was Fiore, but I remember the supervisor, the lady that like would kind of oversee everybody. She was very nice. Like they were a pretty good family. They treated like kids fairly well because there was a lot of high schoolers. Because the way they saw it's like okay, so these kids like are looking to do something. If they want to work, like we'll give them the chance.
Also,
Yeah,
you know, same thing with corporations. They prefer, like McDonald's and Jack in the Box, they prefer to hire high school kids because you can pay a minimum wage.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, because like once you got promoted to like to be able to run the snack bar, she was like, "Oh,
Dude,
here's
that's still a great job though. That's a sick because it's very social.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's a very social job. I met a lot of cool people.
shows
there.
why you're very charismatic because
Yeah.
you were just sort of raised in the social climate.
Yeah, well, generally, like being Mexican and just how my parents are, and having a big
Yeah.
family, like I would constantly socialize.
Yeah, that is true. It's I'm legit Chicano. So I'm not completely like full-fledged like Mexican culture, but I know everything Mexican culture, but I'm mostly American like because
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it's like so I'm like
Born in America type thing, but
Yeah,
from
so-
immigrants, so it's
Yeah.
you're American, but they don't let you forget what they had to go through. It's like, hey,
Not necessarily-
Like, this is you. Like, this
wait,
is
are
your,
you is your parents first generation or
My dad, he had crossed when he was like 17. He's from Parral, Chihuahua.
dang, so you're first generation.
Yeah, I'm technically like first generation.
Yeah,
There's
technically.
kind of like some weird like from my mom's side. Oh man, it's kind of it's a trip. So, my
Remember you can move this around. So you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
That's why you
So-
see me doing this a lot because you know
Okay. So my great grandmother, I think her first husband had served in World War One. Like there's like a weird thing like that happened because
Your- say again. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I think it was my great grandmother. Her first husband
Oh,
had
okay.
served in World War One.
Okay.
I think it's my grandfather's grandfather is what I believe it is.
Okay, yeah.
That served in the war. Like between that and her being born in the States, I think that's how.
This is your mother, right?
Yeah, this is on my mom's side, because
Okay.
they're technically like there's some first generations on that side, but they had got their stuff to be like a charity. Like my mom's like her childhood like was very dysfunctional. Not
I know,
not
dude. I know, dude.
dysfunctional,
I know it.
like I guess you can say it's like a series of like opportunities and miracles that happened for them because they got very lucky in so many ways, And yeah, dude, like in a big sense, like my mom's, she's a pretty big believer with her
Dude,
faith and stuff.
it's a part of the culture.
Yeah,
Well,
because like I'm not the most religious person. Like I believe in, I guess, a bigger energy, a bigger entity. In a sense, it doesn't have to be like Jesus or what's kind of been put out there, but in general, it's living with principles, trying to live with a tenant in mind. You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But overall, I guess like my mind operates on Catholicism.
I assume so. I mean,
Very traditional stuff. Like I try to get a lot of stuff out of my head, like especially like a lot of the relationship stuff that kind of comes up with it. Cause like ever since like these last 2 years, I've been trying to change the way like I date. Like I'm just tired of like old dating habits. Yeah.
bring that closer to your mouth.
Oh my bad.
Remember, you can move the whole thing. Like you can manipulate it. I know.
But okay, so
I
back to my mother's side.
well, I think you want to hear the dating thing. That's more intriguing.
Okay.
We'll go your mother. Well, no, we'll go dating.
Because we were talking ethnicity and
Yeah, but
kind of like in the topics of immigration, because like it's a big
Yeah.
hard switch to like, oh, like this is kind of heartfelt to be like, oh, it's like this is very
yeah,
more
but
individual.
I want let's go into the dating thing and then let's go back because
Okay.
dating. I'm like, ooh, this is fun. So yeah, I because okay, all right. Let's get into the dating thing. Do you mind speaking about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
here's-
I've been needing
Look at
to
that.
get it out.
I'm
a lot
awake
in
now. I'm
many ways.
energized. Hey guys, I'm a little not fatigued, just a little bit drained. I worked out a little too hard today, which I keep telling myself before I have a guest on a podcast. I'm not gonna train as hard, or I'm not gonna train at all, because
Oh, dude.
it just drains me way too much.
Dude,
Still,
but once you're in the gym and you start hitting it, it's that old
Yeah.
habit that comes back. Each time I step on the treadmill, it's like I don't want to fucking do
I
this.
couldn't stop.
But like
So-
a quarter of a mile in, just running, I was like, oh, like your brain accepts it.
Yeah, I couldn't stop. I'm addicted to working out, man. It's not even. It's everybody. We talked about it on the first and second pod. It's not. I don't work out for the aesthetics or the hypertrophy. I need it. Like today, I got angry today because a lot of things happened with my job, as far as like things out of my control, that affected my commission that wasn't in my control. And it also took away about like 45 minutes of my time in the day, and that upset me very bad. And I woke up in a beautiful mood, happy. Okay, dating. I never used Tinder or whatever,
Bumble,
whatever's
Hinge, all
out.
the good shit.
Bubblefish or Bumblefish, or, you know what I mean?
Bumblefish.
Whatever there is. I never got to use them, so I don't know. So you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
Dang, lucky.
Dating apps.
My she's like, lucky.
Yeah, it's like it's hard. Like I know a lot of it's like kind of individual because I like obviously like you met me when I was chunkier. We were talking that pre-show.
You were single then,
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had a relationship since high school, dude.
but were you dating then as well on the apps?
Yeah, dude, I was still trying to get
That's
my
amazing.
trying to get my part in, you know.
That's so cool.
So,
Dang, it's been around for that long, huh?
dude, yeah, since like I remember that like everybody's like if you're trying today or get laid, try Tinder. I was like, what's Tinder?
So,
And I remember I was like, oh my god, I was like, what?
back then, what were you using
Like, what do you mean?
app wise?
Just Tinder.
Okay.
That was kind of I guess the thing like back in like
That was the first one,
2015.
wasn't it? Like the first popular one.
I guess, yeah.
And
Because
then,
it might have been a more of a mobile thing. I don't really know.
well,
too
it was known
much.
for sex, and that's why people gravitated towards
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's why
I
people
remember.
gravitated.
I forgot who talked about it. What I was watching, but they were talking about like in the very early days of
Yeah.
Tinder, it was all the sluts and all the hoes, like all the man whores just going at it. Everybody can be a hoe.
Yeah, but okay, so dang, so yeah, dive in, do whatever you want, man. Like guys, Andres, Teddy, Giron,
Hiron, yeah.
Giron, at the Shreddy Teddy. He's single. Look at him. Look into the camera right there, man. He's a good guy, man. Really good guy. But yeah, so you're about to go dive into a story of the dating.
Because I realized like a lot of emotional patterns like that kind of just portray into my behavior patterns is like having like that fucked up self-esteem from when I was like a heavier kid. Like because like I'm a very charismatic and pretty confident person, just like how I walk around. Sometimes the way I speak doesn't necessarily show it, but just my general presence, that's I guess the aura I give off to a lot of people. And like once I got in shape, like it's hard, dude, because like I remembering like because people would kind of look past me like big time
When?
like just between dating and just like friends like not meeting people.
Friends.
Dude,
That's worse. Okay, in my opinion, that's worse than dating. I think, right?
yeah,
Like that's
dude,
worse.
yeah, because like it was just weird. Like I just realized like people were treating me like in such a weird way, and I was like, this sucks. It's like, and that was part of the reason like why I started getting in shape. Is like, well, I was like, and two, it's like looking back at it, I was like out doing wrestling and like all that weightlifting. I was like, what the
You didn't make
hell?
friends with that community when you were
Yeah, like
wrestling and
oh,
stuff.
dude, like the people I wrestled with, like everybody's doing their own thing now. But like when I like
But you said you felt like
just kind
you
of
look
like overlooked, and I
like
don't like
can you
that.
like get can you like detailed into that? Like what do you mean by that?
To
People.
me, like, because eye contact is a big thing, and you can kind of to you can
Oh.
see people's energy in their eyes. You
Yeah, you
can
can.
see a switch, even if their face stays straight. It's their eyes.
Oh yeah, I'm on it right now. Like I keep going like this because my eyes are sticky from the sweat still. And like and I swear, and I put lotion on like a dummy because my skin was dry from the sauna. So I'm looking at you and I'm going like this, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna think
Oh
I'm
yeah,
tripping.
you're layering new skin back on there.
I'm like, but yeah. So like, do you have an example that you can think of like where you felt like you wanted to be friends with somebody and they just why do they what do you mean overlook? I'm trying to like wrap my mind around overlook.
I guess better put it like not enough, but like whether it was just
Oh.
like a lot, I noticed now it's like there wasn't necessarily chemistry, but then like also like too, I've noticed it's like it was kind of a physical thing, like being shorter, and then because like every girl I've
Are you
talked
sure it
to,
wasn't your subcon or your mind
dude, it
thinking?
was a lot. It's honestly a
You were in
lot.
high school, man. At the
Like
time.
from high school and then going into like the adult dating world, it changed because like
Oh,
I didn't realize until I was like about 2021. I was like, I was like, my height does actually matter in this shit. A little bit more clarity in that. Like
yeah.
I had some relationships in high school. I didn't like how things ended. I dated a girl for a little bit afterwards, like from her senior year going out of high school. Like I was with a girl for about I don't know, maybe a year or so.
That's pretty
Not
decent,
not too
right?
sure.
Yeah.
But just like after that, I was like, I was like, no more. Like I just going through a little bit of stuff, like me being the little sensitive man I am. I was like, ugh, like I didn't want to deal with it no more. I just didn't want to deal with the emotion. So it's like everything kind of got like tucked away in the back of my head. And then being in the band, just hanging out with the guys and whatever like other little stresses I had going on, like leaving high school because I didn't know what the hell to do. My mom was pressing me to get a
You
job.
graduated?
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, you have to because your mom's
Oh,
like,
dude, she would have kicked my ass
yeah.
if I would have
See,
dropped out.
see, that's how fortunate you are. My mom didn't care what I did. She's just like, all right. That's how. My mom was buying 40s for my friend when I was in sophomore
Damn.
before school. I don't even go to school. I'm not drinking them. He's drinking them. Yeah, but the reason why I bring that up is because so many look how we're coming together now like different lifestyles even though they're so similar they're still different like you had to go to college high school graduate because your mom would have beat your ass for sure. My mom was like whatever and I turned out well maybe
Yeah, I've
know
noticed that too. I'm like,
so
I'm pretty well off. I was
yeah
like growing up was weird. I didn't have a terrible childhood, but it was weird. Like if you grow up like a pretty privileged person, you every like
it varies.
I'm a fairly privileged person. Like I sometimes think of myself like like
That's beautiful, man.
like a bougie baby. I was like,
Loving family.
yeah, like it helps like actually like having people like because we weren't rich or anything, but like there's always the effort, there's always the step like trying to take action. So it I mean it wore off. So it's been for the best overall. Like looking at my life, I'm just like I'm content with the cards I've been dealt.
That's good, man.
So
That's
it's
good because I was when I was 27. You're 27. I wasn't thinking the way you're thinking. I wasn't as mature as the way you are at all. I just maybe a year and a half just finally made that leap of maturity and content and just calmness. Yeah.
dude, I'm honestly I'm chill, but like oh man, like I just
But you pounded down in the sheets.
I mean
What's your Tinder profile? What app do you use?
Tinder.
Tinder.
If I download it.
But what other ones are there that you have used?
Just that and Bumble.
Okay,
I mean,
so
because for the most part,
what's your
like I try to stay off Tinder. Like because I try not to repeat like whatever little dumb like little pickup shit that I would use like because like
Pick up words like lines.
like yeah like little lines are just trying to steer conversations and to go certain ways because because I found like my type like my little niche of girls that I could get with because dude I like aggressive girls so it's like I'll be honest so there's a term there's a switch between dom and being submissive.
Submissive, yeah.
Yeah, so like I guess that's what Abdul says. That's my term. Like,
That's
'cause
fine,
I
man.
I am a very aggressive and very dominant person
So
when I want to be.
you want the equal.
Yeah, like cause I dude like
I get it.
I never thought about it. Like I guess like letting like a girl do her thing like in the bedroom is like that's I never saw that as being like submissive to somebody. I just saw it as like the pleasure. It's like oh it's like this is
Experience.
yeah like
And
this is
they know what they
something
want.
this is something you can do and it's like and to me it's like well I was like I'm kind of like a nice guy like a bit of a people pleaser to an extent but like I'm just like oh yeah it's like come on baby do what you want.
You're a great person, man. I think you'll be fun. I didn't plan on being with Jess for this long. I mean, I didn't even plan on even being with anybody. I was mostly focusing on becoming a rock star. I was. I swear to God,
Yeah,
that was.
I get it.
I swear, like that's how I got so good, man. Like I was very disciplined. I didn't. I had rules and I had schedules. Like I was like, I don't have time. I work 2 jobs and Sundays I turn off my phone and I practice morning to night. Literally morning to night. I don't mess around. But all right, so I'm done. You don't you go to Tinder and then dating?
Either or, like still kind of on subject, but I mean, for the most part, I just try to avoid it. Like, I don't like the type of energy that I feel.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't feel right no more.
I think you want
I wanted-
you want
I wanted-
somebody
I like meeting people in person because
Yeah.
I noticed like now I'm a very approachable person. I can be very charming. Like it's just it's easier now to actually talk in person. I'm just like I guess I'm not scared. Like because
yeah, you're confident.
yeah.
Yeah.
But either like before, like it's just social anxiety in general. Like my brain's just kind of like a million miles an hour. Like even if we were playing a show, like feeling like completely loved, wanted, and belonging.
Right
Like,
now, I'm getting
I would
excited.
still have to like step out.
I mean, no offense by this, by the way. I'm just tossing out words, filling in this space. But I could tell. I literally visualize the person that you would be with. She's for sure gonna be Latina, Hispanic for sure.
Yeah, I realized my mom was right. Because my mom's like, you need to marry a Mexican girl.
You don't. It just I could just see that that's the only thing you're.
With what I've noticed, like with a lot of Latino women, they embrace the motherly instinct.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Because I think that's what it is. Like why there's like such a big sense of community. Like
Yeah, that's
obviously
true.
like there's other like you can say like economical reasons.
Yeah, it's true.
But
No, it's
even
true.
before like the world was developed, like you can see it like in the the previous ancestry, it was a community thing.
Well, it depends on what type. I've always strayed away from this information because I never cared about race or culture. But since I've gotten older, my girlfriend and my sister maybe learned this stuff, and my mom. But it depends on what type of Latino. Sorry, it depends on what type of Mexican. You could be Indian Mexican, or you could be what I am. I think I am. We have a 23andMe over there. I'm gonna take it on the 10th episode with my sister.
Oh, nice.
But I think I'm Spaniard Mexican, which is way different than Indian Mexican.
I got both, actually.
Which you got Spaniard, Native, and
Because
right.
on my dad's side, his like the men, his grandfather, like they come from Spain. They're white, like they're very like
Okay.
white. And my grandfather, from my dad's side, he married a native, like a local native in Chihuahua, right there. From like, I think my grandmother, like she, like her, like the tribe she came from is like from Durango. So
Yeah, that sounds all familiar to me. Yeah.
yeah, in that area. And so that's my dad's side. They have like that split, the straight Spaniard and straight native. And then on my mom's side, it's I think the Native Americans that were in that part of Mexico, they're a lot of them were Yaqui, I believe.
I believe so too as well.
Because my mom's from Sonora. She's her hometown Sassavit, and I believe that's what she said. It's a lot of Yaqui over there. But
It wouldn't be hard to see when sorry to interrupt you again. See, I totally have a tendency to do so. You know why? Because I got to pee so bad. But if somebody was here while you're speaking about like Durango and where else you said Durango,
Sassave.
so they could be Googling it and figure out like what are the tribes that were from there, and they could correct
Yeah,
us.
it's from my grandma's stuff. It's I believe I'm pronouncing it right. It's the Raramuri.
What is that?
It was the name of the tribe. Like I had did a bit of researching like 2 or 3 years back. It was kind of like a whole like spiritual aspect. It's like where the fuck like am I coming from? Like
So you went into that?
yeah, I was kind of like it was a bit of soul searching. Like part of it comes from like never getting to meet my grandfather from my dad's side.
But do you need all that information? Like, can't your parents tell you that?
They know it, but like there's a lot of like trauma like involved with it, so I try not to dig too much. Like my dad he'll talk about stuff, and I realize I'm just like, oh, like it comes with time throughout the years, usually around the holidays, because there's like the story with my grandfather, like it's pretty rough, like knowing the type
Your
of man,
grandfather?
yeah, like hearing like the type of man he was. He was a very rough person in general, but they grew up in
All of them were, man. Like,
yeah.
whose grandparents weren't, you know?
Well, yeah, it's like you grew up in an underdeveloped town.
Well, war was a part of it. World War One, Vietnam,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well,
Hey,
on the American side, yeah.
I'm gonna take a pee pee.
Mhm.
Should I say that? Should it sound sexier?
I'm gonna
Hey,
go drain my lizard.
do you wanna speak on your stuff? We can pause it right now. I can still edit it.
I'll.
Want to edit?
What's up?
Want to edit? Want me to pause it here? Guys, I'm taking a pee pee. Sorry.
Draining the lizard with
I got
Kang.
so bad. You're talking and like my weenie fucking black. Give us a clap. Give us a clap, Teddy. Give us the clap.
Oh, you want the clap?
Give us the clap. Have you ever?
If you're gonna think, well, if you're gonna ask what you think I'm asking, no. But I've.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about it in one of the episodes actually in Quite the Storm.
Yeah. I don't want to.
I had received a text and I was like, oh no. It was a very mature and respectful text. And I remember
That's scary.
going on Google and reading about him. Like, and whatever little itch my wiener would get, I was like, oh no, here it is. I was like, here it comes. Because like chlamydia can stay dormant.
Have you had it before?
No.
Dang, me either.
Dude, I've honestly, yeah. I'm pretty lucky.
You know what's
not to have
gross?
it.
My uncle, when I was like 11 years old, maybe 12, 11 or 12, 13, whatever. I remember one time he got something. I don't know what it is still. He's like, oh, like his wiener was still seeping out some type of like green fluid.
Oh.
He got there's chlamydia, there's some other disease, STD.
AIDS?
But it's curable. No, it was curable, and he got it cured. It's gross, guys. This is gross. I'm probably gonna edit this one out because I don't want my nephew to hear this. No, I don't want my nephew to hear this.
I get it, yeah.
I'll edit that one out, or I might keep it in. I'm gonna keep it in. But yeah, your grandfather and stuff like that. We went from dating to your grandfather.
Yeah, we've been jumping a little bit.
So you are interested in the whole where you're from, your genetic history?
Yeah, definitely for sure. I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Like, I don't know. I never thought about it too much.
But you say you are interested in.
Yeah, just kind of knowing like how, I guess, like, because generally like all the like conditions people were exposed to over time that transfers genetically to people. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a way of helping understand like why I can be so tense.
It's called epigenetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why like, because it's strange because like part of it like for my like personal reason like not meeting my grandfather and being the one person in my family that actually looks like a spin image of my grandfather.
You looked up here that guy?
I've seen pictures of him. Like my dad
Oh.
has a picture of him that I look and I was like, holy shit.
But you wanted to meet him?
He died before I was born. He passed
Yeah, but
away.
you have like this. You have this intrigue to want to have met him.
Yeah, I guess it's like because you know how like when you meet somebody that looks like you or like has, I guess a easier way to put it, like has a similar energy. It's like you kind of realize it, like. But I've noticed at least like, okay, like kind of back to the dating aspect. I've noticed that there's people that get together that look like they can be siblings, but they're
Dude.
not related.
Hold I don't want to clip the mic. I don't want to clip the mic. Hold on, because
So like,
I never noticed that in my life until Jess told me this. And then now my mind realized it's like driving a car. You buy a new car, right? Then you start seeing it all over the streets. And then now I
dude,
see couples get married and like they look like they're siblings. And how did you come across that? How did you notice that?
it's just people like would post their significant other on Facebook, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, she looks
Bro,
like she could be your sister,
you and Jess said that you're the only two people who have mentioned that
dude. Because I
in
think
my
like
life.
I think there's a thing to that. Like there's a little weird like human biological things like you
You want to
like
fuck yourself.
yeah, I
You
guess
want to fuck yourself.
it's a little ego thing for sure.
It's a
But
Tom Segura bit. There's a Tom Segura bit. Tom Segura has a bit. I forget what
really,
special. I think it's probably Disgraceful Me. Or Tom Segura has a bit where he talks about how it's funny how people who have children is pretty much just being selfish because
yeah. I
it's
know
the
which one you're talking about.
it's a comedy's bit and it's beautiful. So
He's
my mind is going towards that bit.
yeah, it's definitely like, oh, it's like you want, if you really like how you look, maybe like, oh, like find somebody with a similar like physical makeup that could potentially have a similar genetic makeup as well with it.
Yeah, I don't.
Dude, I don't know, cause like there's just a thing to like humans that if they see something that like they definitely like they feel deeply related to, there's a curiosity, and then
Yeah.
just seeing the like that physical aspect, it's like, oh shit, like dude, cause like my aunt told me like, cause once I lost all the weight, like, cause I kind of like disappeared out of a lot of people's lives for like a while, and when I had went over to my tia Susana's house, she had picked up her older sister, and she had walked into the room, and they were just like staring at me because I hadn't seen my
Oh,
tia Nella, because I see my tia Susana from time to time. She lives here in town, but my tia Nella lived in California.
would you say like a year?
With my tia Susana, I hadn't seen her maybe like 2-3 years. There's some time to, but with my tia Nella,
Pretty
I
long.
hadn't seen her in like 12 years, dude. I was a little boy. I was like 12, 13, more than 10 years than I had last seen her. And like she had like looked at me like she's like staring at me like she saw a
It's like,
ghost.
damn, who's this hot ass boy?
like she
Yeah.
like obviously like 10 some odd years later, it's like holy crap, it's like you've grown. My tia Susana, she walks in, and like in Spanish she's like, doesn't he look like dad? I was like, oh dude, and you can see like the kind of like the pain in her eyes. So I was like, oh fuck, dude. I was like, it's so
But
weird.
you've seen the photos, right?
Yeah.
Can you send me the photo?
I think I have it in my phone
Find it
actually.
because I'm gonna put it up on the I'm gonna put it side by side.
Cause like even my dad tells me that, he's like, yeah, he's like, you have like a very similar demeanor. He's like, you have the big back and like the square chest. It's like,
That's amazing.
so I was like, and looking at it, he's like, cause my dad tells me that if you were to dress like, like how he did, he's like, you would probably just look almost exactly like him when he was in his younger age. I was like,
Listen,
the physical aspect definitely do align a lot up, but it's our eyes, and that was the aspect. Like I guess the what really kind of caused it, like people like telling me is like, oh, like you look a lot like him, and then just like seeing the pictures, like, oh, it's like I can see the resemblance. But it was more of the idea of just like wanting to meet him. I guess like searching for like maybe acceptance from, I guess, like another male figure in our family, like, because I know like my dad fucking loves me. But I asked him questions, I asked him, was like, did you like have like any like uncles and stuff, like, and apparently there's one uncle that he had that was actually a very wealthy person, and I believe he said he was a painter, or his and he had married like a doctor. Like he said he had cousins that had a house on private land while they were over there
where do you know where? Like,
in Mexico.
when's the last time you've been to Mexico?
Last time, few months. I go
Oh, okay, you go often.
from time to time. Yeah, like I'll go with my mom to my mom's side, because Sasua is about like it's an hour or so. Like if you're midtown, yeah, it's like an hour and like 20 minutes or so. But my parents live in 3 Points, so it's like a
Oh,
45-minute drive for them. I'll go see like my mom's side. My dad's side is in, a lot of them reside in Juarez now. Between Juarez to like Tijuana, like the border towns. But
yeah.
yeah, I remember going to Juarez a lot actually, like before things got really bad, before like the drug war kind of like really took over. They say it wasn't a war, but it was
Okay,
a fucking
I,
war.
I I I I haven't been there in a while. But when I was growing up, I used to go to Agua Prieta a lot, Hermosillo.
Yeah.
But during those times, I was in high school. They would say, there's a big war going on. Don't go over." I'd go over all the time, and it'd be chill.
Yeah,
But I don't know how bad has it gone now. Have you not gone over because of the stigmatism of like it's bad now?
it was bad, dude.
But how bad? Like,
People fled their homes. Yeah, because when like the cartels like started rolling in, they were just demanding protection from like the stores, and there's like 3 little stores on the street where my grandmother lived, and everybody like they paid the
but why'd they
protection.
flee their homes? Is it because they're gonna eventually evade their homes?
Dude, because what happened is there was like the army was like actually like going into like big gunfights with people, like just trying to stop the move of drugs and weapons in general. I forgot what podcast it was. I had heard an episode. I believe it was on Rogan.
It was Rogan. It was a female. I
Yeah,
forget her name as well, but
yeah.
she went into the cartel.
Yeah, she covered a whole lot of the stuff that happened in Juarez, and I remember hearing it, and it was like, holy, like shit.
It's great.
I remember like as a kid, like I would go over there, like I was never allowed to leave the house alone. We would always walk in groups, and there was always our adult cousins with us. Like typically, like even if it was just to go walk around the block to go get burgers from like the burger stand over there, we weren't allowed to leave alone, especially at night. But in general too, like the violence wasn't bad back then when I was a child, but you would still hear a lot of gunshots in general. Like you would hear like like parties, like somebody getting shot at a party because somebody was dancing with the wrong person or somebody said
Yeah,
the
no,
wrong thing.
I've experienced that a lot. Me and Fernie have, where we got at a party randomly hanging out. The guy who was throwing the party got too coked out and too drunk and coked out that he came at us with a gun, and everybody was trying to stop him, but they couldn't stop him because he was like moving too fast and everybody was too scared. And me and Fernie were freaking out. I remember that moment. I'm sure Fernie would bring it up. That was wild.
In general, because like with the stuff with Juarez, like learning about that, like because actually like seeing some of the footage where like they're taking just random families hostage, like
It's
these
money, man. It's
yeah,
money.
these gun well like it was just like it was like a casualty like just kind of like happening like because these people would get into like the army would get into gunfights with cartels, and if the people like started losing, they would do by any means necessary. So if it means having to take a hostage and cause a whole stand up, that's what they would do. And like I remember like seeing like finding some footages, like you can like there's a lot of fucked up shit, dude. Like
I know.
just like pictures you people just kind of like dismembered from being shot up and shit. Like they're just kind of falling apart.
That's what happens in the
Plata
cartel.
or plomo.
Yeah, that's what it is. Plata plomo.
Yeah, it's the desire. It's like the way I look at it, like it's kind of like it's like the Robin Hood story, but with a twist to it. Because like a lot of these people, like they build up these little towns. Like that's why like a lot of these places can have the support of their town because they actually give back to the town. They know how to build that influence as
Yeah.
well. Like yeah, like they're gonna do whatever the hell they want, but they have a more reasonable way of getting people to comply with them before they can actually step to fear.
Well, anybody will comply with the
Well, yeah, I
M14
mean,
in your face, you know?
well, it's not necessarily that. Like, it's just
Yeah.
well, like people knowing because like what had happened in Juarez because there was like my grandmother's neighbor was like an older man and they had maquinitas in their store and then they would just sell like chips and stuff like groceries like little
Very minimal profit, huh?
yeah, so it's like that's what they're
Yeah.
doing to like feed like themselves and just survive, and what had happened is they had when like they started collecting protection money, they just packed their stuff, they took what was valuable to them, their money, just locked doors and just left to wherever they probably had family.
Dude, imagine Africa. Have you seen the movie with Nicolas Cage?
Lord of War.
Lord of War.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. How good is that?
Oh man, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but it's a very good movie.
But yeah, I'm trying to find my niche, and we're going to be all over the place. But we're wearing the same shirt, by the way. Yeah. So I want to ask you this question. I bought this shirt just because I love the merch design, the colors, and the graphic design. Overall, the whole thing. Why'd you buy it? Similar.
Yeah, but I actually ended up liking the band too because I have heard of Signs of the Swarm, but I never just like really listened to them. I like deathcore, but never been to like far into
They're really
it.
good.
But watching them live, I was like, holy shit. Like, dude, it was nuts. I ended up ripping my pants in the mosh pit to them. Yeah, dude, oh my god. So when Volvodinho was playing, did you know somebody actually pulled out a gun in the middle of the show?
That show?
Yeah,
No, I
dude,
left.
because what had happened, there's this tall, like, white skinny dude. He like full-fledged like punched this like shorter guy in the face and like knocked him out. And I saw, I was like, why the fuck is this
saw
dude?
it?
Yeah, I saw the kid get knocked out. I was like, why is this dude being a dick to him? And like the dude like drops, like you see his head hit the floor and his shirt goes up, and he had a fucking pistol tucked in his waistline.
So the guy who got punched had a pistol.
Yeah, he like some dude in like on the side of the pit like knocked him out, because apparently like what I didn't see, like somebody like other people said they saw it, but I guess like he got upset or something and like he pulled it out and like chambered it like to intimidate somebody.
Hold your horses. The guy who got punched and knocked out had the gun.
Yeah, that's very stupid because like he pulled it out as an intimidation, like to like he like
That's wild.
yeah, that's what I was told that had happened. 'Cause,
What's
like,
more upsetting is that 191 Tool ain't patting down. What the fuck?
dude, yeah, the person I didn't get patted down that night either. The dude just went like that.
No,
like,
that's upsetting because I was there too. I left early because
dude, yeah, it was a packed show because like that's why I was like, because I got like it happened so quick, like within like 5 seconds I saw the dude get punched, knocked out, because I got angry seeing him get hit. I was like, what the fuck?
I hate that
and
shit
then
too, man.
and then you see like his shirt go up and like he like the dude was like sleeping.
How long did he get up? Sorry, how long did it take him to get up?
They dragged him out.
Then when did he do this?
I didn't see that because that's why like
Oh.
that's why I was so confused about what was going on. I was like, why did this dude hit the guy? And then like he had a gun in his waistband, and I was like, what?
I'm a little confused with the story though.
Dude, yeah, that's why. Like, okay, so like
yeah.
from my perspective, I don't see the full thing, but from what other people were telling me, because everybody was talking about it, because like it was like I was right outside the mosh pit, like towards the side, where like
Remember I saw you guys there.
yeah, like where the little like the wall is, how they have those benches. Like the dude was kind of chilling up like by there, like the tall skinny white dude that was I guess our hero, potentially our hero that
Yeah.
night, because yeah, but that's what other people were saying that were in the pit. Like I guess he pulled the gun out to intimidate somebody.
Which is funny because like there's two stories, right? Where he got knocked out, they pulled him out, and then there's a second story.
Dude, yeah, because both of them got arrested.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For assault and
Yeah, and the other dude, like you could see him like sitting out like on the ground, like in cuffs, and just like all sad and shit.
there's been when was this show? About a year ago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like last summer.
It had to have been. It's like a movie last summer.
Dude, but that's
I
why,
know
like,
you did last summer.
that's why like it's such a like it was such a very weird and kind of surreal experience for me, because
We're fucking there, dude.
I mean, just in general, like what happened to like the Eagles of Death Metal show.
I don't know that story.
It happened a long time ago. I think it was from what my memories tell me, they were playing in France, and like I believe it was in France. It was in a different country, but people had went into the show and opened up fire
Just
on the crowd. Yeah, it was considered a terrorist
like
act.
the country show. Remember that country show where the sniper?
Yeah, like the thing that happened in Vegas. It was
That's
a similar
wild.
situation like that. And yeah, it was like like how you said it happened with Dimebag. He got killed and people in the audience got shot at. But
But
you didn't hear about that?
when I went there because I was invited by my old coworker, my friend, and they were drinking tequila, and I was like, I don't want to drink that tequila. I'm good. I'll just buy drinks inside. And we were pre-gaming, and it fucked up my stomach, man. When I was at the show, I was in a blast, but then like after 30 minutes in, it was hurting so bad. I was like, I'm going home. I was like, I can't even get drunk because it hurts. And but then afterwards, I recall some vague memory of that situation. I just deleted it because I just
Dude, yeah, because like the bands were even talking about it. I remember the vocalist of Volvodinho. He's like, damn. He's like, really? Somebody had a gun? He's like, that's the most American thing ever.
I just hope after that event they are now
Dude, the
doing.
security guard wasn't there by the end of the
There
night.
was there because when I went
'Cause
in, there were
I-
3 security guards.
Yeah, because it was the dude that was the main guy that was patting down the people in the guys line. He wasn't there at the end of the night. Like because I remember stepping out.
I know, but
For
still,
a
man.
bit,
I mean, like
and
at a
he
certain
wasn't there.
point, like like it could have went really south hard.
Yeah, that's why I was like, shit, man. I was like, because I was like, the dude was like literally like,
Or it could have been like this. Shit, I don't want to die. I'm not trying to get vague, dark, but like, dude, I hope now. I'm down for the metal detectors. I'm down for the pat down. Like, cause dude, come
Dude.
on, man. That's no joke. It's not. That's especially with this.
It's an easy find. It would have been an easy find if the guy would have actually patted him down.
And I imagine if they patted him down and they found that. How interesting that situation would be for the security guard. How interesting. What's
Yeah.
hey, what's this? Oh, I'm hard right now.
My penis.
You know,
is
you
in
get a
my
boner, you put it
waistband.
up.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sometimes when guys get boners, and they're embarrassed because sometimes you can't control it. It just happens. They put it underneath their belt buckle and they tighten it down because they don't want it to pop out, so they put it within their buckle.
That's if it's long enough to pop out.
Oh,
If you're privileged enough.
oops, oops,
Nah.
oops. Look what Andres made for me. Eventually, I'm gonna do a whole little video series on this. I can't tell what you guys are looking at, but I'm gonna hang this right here. Actually, hold this real quick, Andres. Hold that real quick.
I got it.
Oh, my cheeks are sore.
Ooh.
No, for real, they really are. Is it pretty even? Does it look good to you?
Yeah, it looks pretty balanced from my angle. Honestly, I was thinking about it as like you can hang it on the door as an entryway, as
This
an
is amazing.
entrance sign.
It's heavy. This is made from, he says, blood diamonds.
16
Wild, huh?
steel.
But cool, man. Let's wrap it up. So, what do you have project wise? Like, you have you're Quiet the Storm as a guitar player. No, sorry, guitar player, musician, podcaster. Kingsgrave, which I'm surprised to know that you're actually in part of that band, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because I chill with Alex a lot, so we're pretty good friends, and I mean like we play guitar together a lot. Like we kind of
He's gonna be on. I'm gonna ask him.
we push each other.
Oh, Alex, Para?
Yeah.
So wait, who's the other guitar player?
Cam.
Yeah, Cameron. Yeah,
Yeah. The Crown the Hair.
yeah. I know who he is.
Yeah. Because him and Alex, they wrote the songs that are out. Because it's gonna be a whole EP, but they wrote it together. Yeah,
I'm following him.
It's
Yeah.
been like a lot of Cam. He's kind of a machine when it comes to like he knows like how to do his sound. He knows how to do that deathcore style very well. I was like, damn. I was like, this is nice because it's definitely a different and big change for me.
Yeah.
I've never really like played that style or even attempted to. It's fun though. I like playing fast. Like the riffs aren't like super crazy, and I'm at the point where like I'm just competent enough on guitar. I can just have fun with this. So
That's one thing I wanted to bring up as well. But
I enjoy it very much, and like with Cam, like because he can just like he works, like he's doing work like even without him saying it, and it's the same thing with Alex. There's a nice motivational thing that happens, and days that I'm feeling down, like I beat myself up a little bit. I'm just like, because I know like these guys might be working harder. Like there's always that thought. It's like,
but you want that.
yeah, like there's that. It's the little, I guess. It pulls you out a little bit. It's like having that thought process, like fuck.
You want it because it makes you wake up. You know, like, oh, I gotta. If they're working, I gotta work.
Yeah, like 'cause
more.
I know like we'll have like between me and Alex we'll like talk, like we can have our off days or like an off week, but what I've noticed like with like our circadian cycles, like my brain like has like a monthly pattern of like emotions that happen, and I try to catch it like before.
It's so funny. We're the same, man.
Before,
Legit, we're
like
the same.
before like emotions start to set in, because like if I have like self-loathing thoughts trying to come in, like it can just ruin my entire
it just happens.
day.
You don't even have a choice, right? It just
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, I'm
And
the
it's just
same.
like learning how to catch and just realizing it's like, oh, it's like you're doing this again. And then like sometimes it's like, okay, it's like I can learn to let it go. And then other times I'm just like, oh, I was like,
Yeah.
I get mad at myself.
So
but-
that's really great, man. Like I do hope to get Alex Bada on. He's a very intriguing person. He was in my band for a while, but this is back when I think I was like 23, 24, which means he was like 20.
yeah, I think his son was like a year or two older. at
Yeah,
that time.
so we were mega young. The reason why I had you on is because we've grown up pretty much together in the sense of the scene. Like you were 20 years old, I was probably 23. Wait, no, so you're 27, pretty much 28. August
yeah,
31st,
10th.
August 10th. Oh my God, 2 days after Dimebag's death, right? August 8th, I think is I don't know.
It was no his birthday. Dimebag's birthday is August
But
17th.
the death
He
is.
died it was December.
Oh, okay.
I remember actually seeing the report on MTV when it first came out.
Me too.
Dude, it was after school. Me and my brother were sitting in the living room. We were just like, wait, what happened? Because dude, we were just like, I remember being young. Like it was like gathering around the TV for like Sunday cartoons, but it was like, no, we're watching Pantera music videos.
How old were you then?
I was 8.
Yeah, 04, right? So
I was 9. Yeah, I was like in like 5th or 6th grade.
yeah, and you were listening to metal back then.
Dude, my oldest brother is
Wow.
about 7.5 years older. So by the time he was in high school, like his friends were like showing him like
Wow.
rock, and like they were showing
Yeah.
him AC/DC, Ozzy Osbourne,
Linkin Park.
Metallica, Disturbed. I remember like one of the burnt CDs he brought home. It had the cover that Disturbed did of Shout. They had Cowboys from Hell. It had Black Label from Lamb of God. It had down like I think 10,000 Fists and Down with a Sickness.
The best.
Dude, it had like all
The best.
It had the starter like
No, no,
it's like the
best.
starter
No,
kit.
no. On the real, like have that on my playlist sometimes, and sometimes I skip it because the audio sucks. You know what I mean? But when I hear the composition, I'm like, it's still better than most metal now. Lamb of God in particular, it's like it's when it comes to the guitar composition and riff wise, I'm like, it's better than most shit currently. Even though stuff now is
Oh yeah,
intriguing.
it's songwriting because
Yeah, but intriguing. It's intriguing now, but just something about that.
yeah,
Do you think that?
yeah, definitely. Like there's the bands that like prosper over the rest for sure. Like obviously Lamb of God's one of them. They're one of those big bands now. They're
Well,
like
riff wise, composition wise.
okay, yeah.
As guitar players,
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
don't mean to go to the business aspect of it.
No,
But yeah,
no.
but also too, it's like the way they write kind of like pushes that. Because I believe like once they released the Sacrament album, that was just it. Like they would have to done like something pretty extreme to like go down. I mean,
Yeah.
Randy getting arrested was a big thing for them.
I love it.
But I mean, it wasn't necessarily like it wasn't necessarily his fault. Like the band ended up in that situation. It was just like a string of a bunch of bad choices that was happening. It was just an environmental thing as well. Like, cause like yeah, like it looks like he's pushing him off the video, but like it was a thing that they were doing all night. Cause like I remember just like watching it, like, like I remember like being like 14 15 years old in high school and learning about the law a little bit and then realizing it's like, oh, whatever things I'm learning about the law doesn't apply over there, so he can be totally fucked. So
Man, I all right, let's wrap this up. All right. For the second time, which is unfortunate. My phone is right there, guys. I'm gonna take my phone out from the wide angle. My cheeks are sore, man.
dude, yeah, we did arms and legs yesterday.
Here's the questions, Teddy. This is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Here's question 1 by Frank. The guy I was telling you, Frank Armendariz, the filmmaker I was telling you about, who did one. If you started a band with 3 movie characters, would you pick? Oh, okay, he wrote it incorrectly. If you were to start a band with 3 movie characters, who would you pick besides Jessica Rabbit?
Captain America,
For what part of the band?
drummer,
Whoa, that's sexy. All right,
very disciplined,
very sexy,
very
powerful,
committed.
powerful. Captain America, drummer.
Yeah. So any movie character. Yeah.
That's a great one. I already love that.
Looking at the type of principles like the characters playing, like I mean Captain America, I feel like if he would be a drummer, he'd be like the perfect drummer.
He pounded hard.
Yeah, he'd be dedicated.
Well, girls like pounding, so it's a hard. It's a good question, huh?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
I know it.
I like it.
Frank, motherfucker, I told you.
Damn. I think I might just go with like superheroes.
Go.
I'll throw Thor on bass, kind of like Gene Simmons with Out of Thunder. Dude, yeah. Honestly, then I'd be on guitar. And for the next guitarist,
Wait. You're on guitar, right?
yeah,
Long hair or short hair? Because you're playing with Thor.
medium hair
Okay.
on rhythm.
Okay.
And then I would have Hawkeye as the lead guitarist. Because since he saw
3 guitars?
as the lead guitar,
So Thor's bass. Oh yeah, and then your rhythm, and then Hawkeye's lead.
he would be the shredder,
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's very intriguing.
and Tony Stark would be the vocalist. The
That's a
That's-
star.
That's the Motley Crue of that would be like Motley Crue, but like in Marvel terms.
Frank, you're a star, dude. I told you that's a fucking phenomenal question. All right, here's the second one. In your opinion, did Justin Timberlake actually bring sexy back?
Very much so.
Phenomenal questions, huh?
Honestly, he's okay. Like, not trying to go that way, but like he's just always been a very attractive person, and he's
Justin,
Hey.
do you know how tall he is?
Mm-mm.
6'1".
Damn. But like that's like one of the few people you see in life. Like, cause there's like I remember watching that YouTube series, and I was like, oh my god, it was.
I don't find him attractive at all. But that was her crush when we were dating, and I was so
I think
jealous.
I think it's just probably.
He's 6'1", dude.
It's a mixture of
And he's
his
talented.
voice. Yeah, he's just super talented. He's.
I don't find him attractive though.
It just feels weird saying it, but he's a cute looking guy.
I guess.
But
man.
then like the way it's just like how he can use it in his charm. Like, cause
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
not all of it.
You're fucked. Dude,
'Cause-
Game of Thrones is the best show almost of all time. Well, Marvel is the best cinematic film universe, in my opinion. But as far as like television show series, Game of Thrones and House of Dragons is debilitating. Quote me on that. House of Dragons and Game of Thrones is debilitating. That's how good it is. All right, guys. So we're gonna end this podcast. This is Andres Teddy Giron at the Teddy Shreddy. The Shreddy Teddy. The
Yeah.
Shreddy Teddy. And
If you want to be fancy, hold your pinky up like this.
Yeah, I feel.
no.